Hello. Delhi High Court recently said that in POCSO case where the age of victim is determined by ossification test, then the upper age of the range has to be considered as the age of victim, and the margin of error of has to be taken off 2 years. So let us understand what this mean, as this can be important for general studies, or in general we should know what is ossification test. So here there are two terms, ossification test and POCSO case. POCSO, majority of us know that POCSO is protection of children from Sexual Offences Act 2012, and in this the upper limit of victim's age is 18 years. So in certain cases where the age of victim is under dispute, then ossification test is applied to arrive at the age of victim to conclude whether the case can be tried under POCSO or not. So what is ossification? Ossification is formed of the word os, and it is a Latin word os, which is synonym of bone. A Greek word ostion as well means bone. So it has something to do with bone. So ossification is the process of bone formation. As we know that human skeleton is initially largely formed of cartilage, and with age it gradually transforms into bone. So from cartilage to bone transformation takes place, and this transformation is the process of bone formation, which is called ossification. We know that cartilage is a fibrous tissue which is relatively soft, whereas bone is obviously relatively hard. So this hardening takes place through calcification. Calcification is the deposition of minerals, that is calcium and phosphorus, in bone matrix. There are cells called osteoblasts which are responsible for this, and we use this process to conclude the age, or how do we calculate the age? So we know that the process of ossification is starts at different age for different bone in our body. For example, clavicle, which is our collarbone is the first bone to undergo ossification, and different bones undergo ossification at different ages, and this is the data which we have from our medical science. So we can inspect the bones of the victim, and we can observe the bone which is undergoing ossification, and even in that the degree of ossification, that is the process from cartilage to bone, this transformation, we can even observe the degree of this transformation or this ossification. So we can understand that in a bone there will be some center of ossification. That center of ossification will appear at certain age, and from this appearance to the union or fusion of two centers or epiphysis, from this appearance to union or fusion, there will be process of ossification. At this age of union, the process of ossification will be completed for this bone. So if we observe this bone, let's say we observe this bone and we don't find the center of ossification yet, so we can say that the age is in this range. If this we find the appearance of ossification, center of ossification, but it is yet not completed, then the age will be in this range. If the ossification of that particular bone is completed, then we will say that age is greater than this age of fusion or age of union for this bone. So for different bones we have this data, and from this data we can arrive at a range of age. For example, we would say the age of victim is, let's say, 14 to 16 years, or let's say we will say that for age of victim is 17 to 19 years. So this margin of error of 2 years we will consider. So in this ossification test, how do we inspect the bones? The simplest method is through X-rays. So in X-rays, as we have already understood that ossification is the transformation from cartilage to bone, and under X-rays cartilage are darker than solid bone. So जब भी हम X-ray देखते हैं, then there will be a darker part and the bone will be the lighter solid part. So the cartilage and solid bone can be differentiated there. So we can understand what is this stage this particular bone is from cartilage to bone, and through that we arrive at a age. What are the bones generally we consider? The bones obviously under consideration should be the bones where the transformation is dramatic, which can be observed through X-rays. So generally elbow, wrist or clavicle, which is our this collarbone, sternum, breastbone, which is this T-shaped center and front of our chest, and then there is a pelvic bone. So these are generally some bones which are observed to arrive at an age. Person who does it, forensic anthropologist. Okay, so then there are certain limitations as well, as this calculation is based on the standard chart or standard data, but there can be some individual variation in the rate of ossification. Why there can be this individual variation? Individual variation can be due to some disease or some injury or malnutrition. Obviously the rate is different for male and female, and we consider it under our calculation. But there are certain positives due to which we use this test. What are these positive? One is obviously it is non-invasive, as we have to take X-ray, which is a non-invasive process, then relatively inexpensive process. There are other age determination methods as well, which is dental analysis, DNA testing, ossification, and some other as well. Now High Court also mentioned that the upper age has to be considered. So what is this upper age and why not lower age? As the Indian criminal jurisprudence is based upon the presumption of innocence, which means that we assume an accused to be innocent until it is proved beyond doubt that he is guilty. So if we have a range of age, let's say for example 17 to 19 years, the age of victim is, as per the ossification test, the age of victim comes out to be 17 to 19 years. Now in this age we have choice of 17 years, 18 years, 19 years. So let's say if we take the age of 17 years, so now he is not an adult. He will be the victim is under the age of 18 years, so the case will be tried under POCSO Act. The punishment to the accused will be much harsher. If the age of victim considered as 19 years, so now the case will not be tried under POCSO Act. So the punishment will obviously be less harsher. So the punishment which is to be meted out to the convict is varies and depends upon the age we takes into consideration, and there is clearly a doubt regarding the age of the victim between these range. So following the principle of presumption of innocence, we have to consider the upper age, that is age 19 years, and the case will not be tried under POCSO Act, and this explains why the High Court says to be why the High Court directs us to consider the upper age of victim. Okay, thank you.